Welcome. I'm Oscar Eustace, Artistic Director of the Public Theater in New York. We first met Richard Nelson's Apple family in 2010, on the day Andrew Cuomo was elected governor of New York State. We last met them in 2013, which seems like 100 years ago now. Over the course of 4 years and 4 plays, we watched the 4 Apple siblings, Barbara, Richard, Marian, and Jane, navigate their lives during a time coincident with the Obama administration. Richard Apple, having worked for Cuomo in the state attorney general's office, joined a corporate law firm, separated from his wife, grew distant from their 2 young children, and finally returned to government service in Albany to work again for now Governor Cuomo. This is where we find him today. Barbara has been and remains a Rhinebeck High School English teacher. Her years of care for their Uncle Benjamin ended a few years ago with his passing. Marian continues to teach 2nd grade while carrying the wounds of the death of her daughter, Evan, 9 years ago. Jane is divorced. Her son Billy is now 31 and independent. She continues her pursuit of a writing career while still living with Tim, an actor who now manages a Rhinebeck restaurant. In a program note for the original productions at the Public Theater, Richard wrote, "Theater has a unique place in the history of societies. In times like our own, when human voices seem more disembodied than ever, where words seem pulled from their meanings and turned into rants and weapons, the theater can be a necessary home for human talk, a place where human beings talk about their worries, confusions, fears, and loves, and where they also listen." So in one sense, then, I'm hoping that these are plays about the need to talk, the need to listen, and the need for theater. Enjoy.
Sorry. What were you saying?
A horse walks into a bar and the horse asks for a drink.
Who does he ask?
What kind of
It
drink?
doesn't matter.
Barbara's telling a joke.
Barbara's not.
Let her
Barbara's
tell
not?
it.
Yeah, so a whiskey? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Where'd you get the joke?
Just that nice guy at the hospital. And
He told you a joke.
the one who gets you a car, yes.
Why?
He was being friendly. He's a volunteer.
Barbara, so the horse.
Oh, yeah, the horse orders a drink, a whiskey, and then the horse orders a second whiskey, and then a third,
Okay.
and then the bartender. He ordered the whiskey from a bartender.
Yeah, I think we figured that
Well,
out.
Jane asked, and so the bartender says, "Why the long face?" The horses have long. They can't do anything about it. It's just the way they are.
I'm here. Am I the last one?
Marianne's not on yet.
Why are we not surprised?
I was talking to my daughter.
You okay?
Yeah, you know.
Barbara was telling us a joke, Tim,
Barbara.
from the man who helps you out at the
The one
hospital.
who gets you your car.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that job now.
How are you feeling?
I don't know. I'm fine. It's just a bit of fever. I don't have the cough.
Take care of yourself.
So James locked him in the bedroom.
Well,
I have the graduation's off.
They haven't announced that yet. The prom is canceled. Are you eating? What are you eating?
Just cookies.
yeah, you're in the same house, and this now is how you talk to each other. You on this?
Yes, she shouts at me through the bedroom
I
door.
don't shout. It's a thick
Barbara,
door.
we have one bathroom. Jane, are we eating while we're talking? Because I haven't eaten yet.
You hungry?
I'm not allowed in the kitchen.
You want cookies?
No.
I'll see what we have.
Mhm.
Have you eaten, Richard?
I'm making us dinner. Hold on. Tim, Barbara's letting me make her dinner.
Mm,
You look good.
thanks.
We're glad you're home.
Yeah. I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
We closed the bistro.
Oh, God. Well, I figured.
We gave it a shot with the takeout.
What's funny, Tim?
You know what we should have done if we could have? Actually, maybe the Beekman could still do this.
What?
There's an inn up in Lakeville, and they closed the inn, but they also have a restaurant so that they could keep doing takeout. And the restaurant put on its website that for every order, we'll give away a free roll of toilet paper.
But were they hoarding?
No, they're an inn, Barbara, with no guests, so they have toilet paper. He told me this.
Yeah. So within 3 hours, they had 600 takeout orders.
God.
If we had only had toilet paper, we would still be in business.
There's the chili you made last Wednesday.
Who are you talking
She's
to?
talking to him.
Okay.
It'll still be good.
Did you think you were sick then? If you do, you can have it all.
I don't know.
I'll give it to you then. You want bread?
Bread would be.
Am I the last one?
Mm.
Hi,
Hi,
Barbara.
hi, hi. How are you?
You look great.
Good.
Richard. Hi, Tim. Where's Jane?
She's getting Tim his food. She sets it outside the bedroom door.
Good idea. Be safe.
Hi, Marian. Hey, I like the scarf.
Oh, I got dressed up for this.
I didn't.
You must have stories. You're drinking wine. Let me get a glass of wine. Hold on. Don't say anything interesting.
Jane, can I have
I'm
one?
still on antibiotics. Excuse me.
What do you
Nothing
need?
that you can do for me,
Oh.
Richard.
The bathroom.
I guessed. She looks okay. She's been lucky,
They tested her twice and she's free. So
Jane said.
I keep taking my temperature.
How's work?
The state of New York is still, I guess it's functioning. I'm trying. I'm doing my small part.
From home.
No, from Barbara's home.
Good. Andrew Cuomo.
I know. I know. Everyone surprised. Who would have believed it?
There is a good side to him. Who
Skyped
knew?
with a few guys in our office. Their wives are saying, "What have you been complaining about all these years? You come home crying. He's a nice guy." Some things you can't explain. So you're going to be staying in that little spare bedroom for a while.
Yeah, I am. The dog gets to go back and forth. We share him.
Oh, that's nice.
But the
Their
dog.
Their cat stays with Jane.
Yeah, the neighbors have kids. You hear them through that wall. They're up at 6 a.m.
You only have one bathroom. What do you do?
I shout out so that Jane and the cat can run to the other side of the living room, and then I wipe down everything after, and then I think Jane wipes it all down again.
So what did I miss?
Barbara, I talked to her this morning and she just sounded scared.
Can she hear?
No,
Jane.
Richard, look,
Jane,
Richard,
Jane.
she's not there.
Oh.
No, I hear her in the kitchen. I think she's heating up my chili.
Tim's been doing all the shopping.
Well, not now. I can't.
No, of course not, but you've been doing the shopping all month, she said, and she hasn't been out. I didn't know that, Richard, did you?
I sort of knew, I guess.
Except for walks, right? And then mostly into the cemetery where no one is.
You walk in the
Oh,
cemetery?
the Mills Mansion,
No?
Vanderbilt, Poets
Oh.
Walk, they're all packed now, Barbara.
Oh,
The New Yorkers are here,
well, they've been here.
even more now.
We should walk in the cemetery.
No one is there.
Yeah, perfect.
Barbara, now Jane's going to have to go out and do the shopping.
Which she's already telling me, you can't eat this, Tim. You can't eat that. It's like we're rationing.
She's scared.
I blow my nose and she calls through the door. How many tissues are you using?
Because she doesn't want to go out to the grocery store.
Well, you should only use one if you can, Tim.
Your chili and wine are outside the door. You talking about me? What are you saying?
I'm getting
Tim,
my dinner. I'm getting my dinner.
throw away the napkin in there. Don't leave it on the tray. We're working out a lot of stuff. What were you talking about?
We were talking about shopping.
Oh, God, I'll go. I am going to go.
Jane, I get there now just before 6.
Why?
Oh, they have older people's hours. Older people starting at 6. You have to be old.
I'm old.
Oh, is she old enough?
I think Top started that after you went into the hospital, Barbara.
Is it better than? Is anyone there?
At 6?
It's packed with old people. I hate going.
Fuck.
I went the other day. God knows what I looked like.
I'm sure you look just fine, Marian. It's a grocery store in a pandemic.
I had my blue mask that I made out of pajamas, my ski cap with the pom-poms to cover my hair, and that scarf a friend bought me from Paris for an extra layer, you know, the one over much of my face, and my glasses are steaming up, my scarf's half off, my hat's slipping down. I don't want to touch my face. You can't do that. I must have looked like a crazy person.
I doubt if anyone noticed, Marian.
I think they did.
I'm sure you looked fine.
Why not Hannaford? I like it better. The fruits and vegetables, and not any more crowded.
Look, our brother, the shopper.
I shop in Albany. I live alone. I cook. I clean. What are you talking about?
You eat it like 4 times a week. You told me. Jane Tops is just as good, and it's closer. Yesterday, I had a couple of real victories. Who knew? Sweet sausage. Barbara, there's a timed recipe.
Yeah, I showed you that, Marian.
Where are you going, Richard? Did you?
He made dinner, and the whole thing. He wouldn't let me near the kitchen. And I guess I'm being spoiled. I feel like a queen. I like to be waited on.
That is so untrue, Barbara.
That's one big lie.
Well, he wanted to cook. What could I do? So, what other victories, Marian? You were saying at Tops.
The peanut butter I like. They had that. Amazing.
Barbara, you know, if you bring your own bags, you have to pack them yourself. They don't want to touch them.
I don't blame them.
No.
You'll be fine, Jane.
Chili warm enough?
It's great. Yep.
Just stay away from people.
At
How do you do
least
that in a
6
fucking
feet.
aisle?
No pasta. Those shelves are completely stripped. Jane, you'll be fine, but be really careful.
Oh my
There you
God. God. Did you make all of this? Oh
Good enough,
God,
is
for
enough?
me? I mean, look at this, Jane. It's a chicken with rice pilaf and salad, and look.
I bet your
thank
kitchen's
you.
a mess.
But did you see? There, look, our brother made this for me. Is it a mess, my kitchen?
I am not going to answer that. Are you eating anything, Marian?
I had a salad.
So, Marian, are you eating?
She says
Richard.
she says she eats. I've been asking.
Jane, it's not the hell you think it's going to be. Grocery shopping. It's not quite that. Almost.
Did everybody have what they want? Richard, do you need it?
No, I'm fine.
Well,
I'm not
I can
hungry,
get
Barbara.
it if you-
Just stay where you are.
You can't do that.
You'll be hungry.
Just eat. Eat, Barbara. Just eat. You're home.
Older than me. I read he was 69. He looked younger.
It's like our age.
Well,
Yeah.
almost.
He's a really fine actor. A great guy. Very funny. I did a play with him and a couple of readings. He's a sweet man.
I'm sorry.
What, Tim?
Mark once told me a story about his parents.
What story?
So when he was in his early 20s, I think, and so this is it's in the early 70s. So the city it's a mess.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. And he's in a play downtown in the village somewhere, some hole in the wall, I think he said. And he's playing it's an O'Neill play set at sea. And Mark is this old Swedish sea captain. And Mark Blum is not Swedish. He's like 22 years old and he looks even younger. And he said he wore a white beard that kept slipping down his neck. And one Saturday matinee, his parents, they come in from New Jersey to see their son act, in professional theater. They'd seen him in school plays and and they're early, as parents always are for things like this.
We were like an hour early for Tim's daughter's school play.
Right. Right. So his parents, they take their seats. They're the first to arrive, of course. They wait and they wait until now it's 15 minutes before the show is going to start, and they are the only ones in the audience. And Mark's mom, she turns to his dad and she says, "Morty, if you love your son, you'll get some people in here." And so Morty goes out into, I don't know, Christopher Street, and he starts offering anyone $5 to come in and see his son in the play.
Bless them.
So whenever we'd met, I would look at Mark and I would say, "Morty, if you love your son." He had asthma.
Well, that's a nice way to remember your friend.
It is.
The theater. It's been, thank you. Got my actor friends. They tell me they're like floating in the air. One said it's just like floating, but you don't know if you're going to just crash to the ground and be dead or something else is going to happen. Are you suspended or falling?
That must be hard.
Will there be theater?
At least you got the restaurant business. That's working out
Oh,
well.
God. Richard.
Come on, if we can't laugh.
No, Richard is right. If we can't laugh,
Tim's Friends show will probably be canceled.
yeah, barred. I'm not surprised.
Which show?
He was going to stay with us. He gets some sort of fee for housing, and he was going to pay us.
The spare bedroom right here.
Musical. His friend knows the director who did that.
Oklahoma last year, the Radical.
That started here.
Yeah.
So the director is going to do another musical.
Was Jane. It's not going to happen. And it's they, my friend uses they.
I have such a hard time remembering that.
That started at Bard, Oklahoma?
Not the original.
I know that.
It's going to happen sometime. If not now, people will again need to be together sometime.
Well, will big groups of people want to sit tightly together in the same space for a couple of hours? And when will that happen? I mean, how long will that take?
First call from the audience and who's listening to the play.
He's right.
You lose something like theater and you're basically saying people stay away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more than going to a play gets lost.
Oh, a Russian friend of mine sent me some jokes when I went over there in Moscow. There one has a politician giving a speech. "Friends," he says, "in these difficult days for our country, we must keep as far as possible from each other." Russian. Oh, and then she sent this one. The people who buy toilet paper are incredible optimists. They think they'll have food.
That's not funny, Richard.
It's a joke. There is still going to be food, Jane. Sometimes you go to such dark places.
You have to go to the grocery store, Jane.
I can work at home. I just need a computer. I don't need a crowd.
Well, this is my home, Richard. You're working.
You know what I
from my
mean?
home.
You've made me feel at home.
Yeah, bullshit.
She's been in the hospital.
Before that,
Is he paying rent?
I
Are
am
you?
staying with my sister. Jesus, and you teachers will have your jobs. You're even still
Oh.
teaching.
Not really. Second grade, but we're being paid.
Well, I'm back tomorrow on Zoom.
The chronogram still publishing. So
Online.
Jane's all right.
Well, there's no real way to distribute. The stores are closed, but I'm still writing.
Actually, I was thinking this could be a good time, Jane, for style stories.
What do you mean?
The chronogram stuff. Pictures of nice houses, barns turned into fancy jacuzzi.
We publish more than that.
Well, that's what people read, and this is a good time to lose yourself in that sort of thing, no? Becky, you know the one who does real estate?
I know Becky.
We talked the other day on the street, 10 feet apart. She was walking her dog, and she said they now expect a boom, people buying up here,
Right, isn't there one already?
an even bigger one.
Why?
People like our brother here, they've seen how they can work from anywhere, and maybe they're liking that and feeling safe.
Is that where we're headed?
She said she'd been overhearing people talk
About
how there could be a big change in the city, people leaving, even young people not wanting anymore to be so close to other people. And that had been the attraction, being close to people
So they'll come up here.
and other places.
You better buy a house soon,
Barbara.
Richard.
Barbara.
What are you talking about?
What?
I'm gonna pour myself some more wine.
Yeah, Richard. You want to tell your sisters? He doesn't.
Richard?
What is this, Barbara?
Marian, he's right there. He can hear you. After I got home this afternoon, one of the first things he says to me is, well, do you want to say? Okay. He says, I'm going to retire.
I know nothing
What?
about this.
I don't believe that.
Hey, I haven't told anyone. Barbara's the first.
Why is Barbara the first?
Well, I'm the oldest.
Is this because of Cuomo?
Oh, it's not about Cuomo.
He's different now, Richard.
No, it's
We
not
talked
about
I like him now.
Drew Cuomo. I long ago learned how to deal with that, all that. It's great that he's found a voice. Good for him. It's nothing about that.
What's it about then?
I've been here for 5-6 weeks now, and the last almost 5 days by myself in Barbara's house. And I've been working, of course, but you start thinking.
You can commute to Albany from Rhinebeck.
It's not
People do that if it's Rhinebeck where you want to
It's
be.
not that.
Just tell them.
Okay.
Well, we talked, and well, tell them, Richard, they're your sisters.
And Tim.
I'm 67 years old. It's after retirement age. Come on, I put in my time.
You always said you'd never retire. You'd hang out your shingle somewhere.
He doesn't
You're
want to do that
disappointed in me.
anymore.
What happened?
Nothing happened.
What are you going to do?
Nothing. I can try and explain.
Please.
I was washing dishes a few
What?
days ago and looking out at Barbara's yard, and I asked myself, why am I enjoying this so much?
Washing
You know,
dishes, what are you talking about?
I analyzed it. I thought about it, and I suddenly realized that in my job with the governor's office, I argue for things, I write briefs, I file things, but it's like I'm living a circle. I get up, I do this work and so forth. And it's a fucking circle. But here I am washing dishes, and this is just an example. And the pleasure this is giving me is, I suddenly realized, because it has a beginning, middle, and end. So when I reach this end, I feel accomplished.
When you'd washed all the dishes.
But it's not about dishes. I want to do something I can finish. Does that make sense?
You're not just overreacting to everything that's
I'm
happening.
not overreacting to anything. It's not even reacting. If anything, it's learning from.
I need a glass of wine now.
Jane,
Richard,
Jane, can I
Don't
get
say
some more
anything
wine?
more. Wait for me. I'll leave the red outside the door.
I don't want to make this into a big thing.
Well, why? It's not a big thing.
Barbara,
Yeah.
how's Richard's dinner?
Oh, it's really very nice. Hey, you're a cook.
Okay, there's plenty more.
No,
You want me to take-
wait, no, don't. Please don't. I leave it. I'm not finished. We were talking. Don't run away.
I'm not running. I wasn't running.
So you want to feel accomplished? You've held very responsible jobs.
When I die,
Marian, so this is about what's happening. We're all
the-
scared, Richard.
when I die, the
scared.
kids are taken care of.
Lily's still in college.
Now, one more year, and I have saved for that, and they're both fine. They took on no debt, and I have a good pension. Thank you, New York State.
Hopefully not in stocks.
Yeah, that's going to change now.
What are you going to do?
That's what I asked him, and he hasn't said. So have you thought about it?
Of course I have, Barbara. Of course I have.
Well,
Huh?
you do make rash decisions.
When do I do that? I am incredibly methodical. I'm a lawyer.
When you quit the clarinet, you just quit. You wouldn't even
I
talk
was
about
13
it. Well,
years
that
old.
was rash, and you were good, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I'm thinking of following in Jane's footsteps.
What?
What does that mean?
Just trying to write, Barbara, maybe history. I love history. Man, it must be obvious. Maybe I'd start about our family.
Richard, Marian's doing that.
I am, Richard. You know that.
Oh, maybe I can help, Marian. Put things together.
What are you talking about?
Add things you haven't found. Make connections.
I think I'm doing that. You think I'm missing things?
I don't know.
Have you even read all the stuff I've been sending you?
Yeah, it's all very interesting.
He hasn't read it, has he?
I don't think so.
Okay, some other history then. I love researching.
You really thought this out?
And are you going to retire here in Rhinebeck?
Possibly.
Yeah, that's why I brought up buying a house.
His last alimony check was in February. Maybe that has something to do with this?
That was a milestone. I admit I do feel released. You know, even though I've been living alone, I don't spend that much time alone. I'm always busy. I volunteer for stuff, boards. And it's like Barbara. I always try to be busy.
Well, I don't mind being alone. I'm not scared of that.
It's not that I'm scared.
It was about the
I
alimony.
just had time to think. That's all.
Barbara's not going to cook for you, Richard.
Oh, I'm not.
No.
I'm not asking
Yeah,
that. For God's sake,
don't
I
think
can
he was
cook.
asking that. And
Of course I'm not.
so he can always do my dishes.
Rhinebeck. Thought you were so worried about being smothered by your sisters.
I never said that, Mary. I never would say that.
Oh, yes, you did, Richard. You did.
You definitely did, Richard.
In this very house.
Let's talk about something else.
Well, I just spoke with my sub this afternoon. And she says it's been okay. The kids are liking the project. And see, I just think that if they can connect all this, what they're feeling, you know, that feeling to something else.
Give it a context.
Yeah, especially in literature or art. And I teach literature. So then I think a project like this can make it all more manageable and help them with all this.
The pandemic.
Yeah. So they're not hiding from or avoiding, but they're also not stuck in it.
But why the Decameron?
That's just a starting point.
You know what it's about,
Actually, I don't.
Richard. It's people telling each other stories while they wait out a plague
Mhm.
hundreds of years ago in Italy.
And what's so interesting is that these people are, these characters in the story, they don't tell stories about plagues.
Right.
No, it's more about sex and intrigue, and some are funny, and some are quite magical. So we started this before I got sick, and the students wanted to tell each other about
what?
just, well, things they needed to say, things on their minds, like their parents, or they're afraid for their grandparents, and while they're shut up in their homes. They're full of surprises. They always surprise me. And that's why I don't want to retire, Richard.
Yeah.
I would miss that, really. And some just made up stories. Some told plots of TV shows they're watching.
Streaming.
Yeah, but that's okay too. I think it makes them feel like they're doing something.
Telling stories.
So do we want to try this? I mean, we don't have to.
Oh,
The
I'm
kids
in.
Why
like
not?
it.
No,
So-
me too. That's,
So who's first?
Richard, are you good?
Yeah,
for
sure.
this?
No, sure.
Jane, maybe you can go first.
I'm the youngest.
That's why you do it. We tell you to.
God, I wish, Mary.
Let me think.
You have something?
Let me think, Marian.
oh, Jane, what about the novelist that you've been?
Who's that?
I could do that. I could tell that. Sure.
What's that?
Tim, where's my notebook?
Where are you going?
It's in here, Jane. It's on your desk.
Can you get it for me? But wipe it down. Wipe it down.
Yeah, I'll put it outside the door.
What's this about?
I have no idea. Some story. She's always researching something.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm
with
okay.
this?
It could be fun, Barbara.
Richard, you know, I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
thinking we're so lucky.
Why?
Barbara.
Okay, Marian, come
we
on.
can say that, damn it.
No,
Okay.
You're home.
Yeah, there are so many people
We
who
are.
can't stay at home like this, and who can't lock themselves up in their houses and apartments. So, I mean, that's why we're lucky.
So, I just tell the story.
Yep, just anything at all.
If it's boring.
It's not.
Oh, and if it is, Marian will tell you, Jane.
What do you mean by that?
I came across a novel published anonymously in the 50s. It had been a huge success, a bestseller, the writing compared to Henry James, as well as being scandalous. The woman at the center of the novel has a secret.
Yeah, she's been telling me all about this.
When this character was 15, she began a sexual affair with her 50-year-old and very wealthy stepfather. And at this time, her mother, his wife, was in their house up in her bedroom dying.
When did you research this?
She works all the time, Barbara.
I want to write a piece about novels by women from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, especially those forgotten.
Or lost.
When this novel came out, there was all kinds of speculation about who actually wrote this book. Even the rumor that it was Winston Churchill.
Are you kidding?
Or another, Isaac Dinesen.
Out of Africa.
About 6 months after it's published, the Times unmasks this anonymous author. She is a 60-something American woman living in England. Her name, Gladys Huntington. In her whole life, she'd written one novel in her 20s, not good, actually terrible, and a couple of stories. Then in her 60s, she suddenly writes a critically acclaimed bestseller. She's feted, unmasked as its author. There are parties for her, interviews in newspapers. And then, about a year or so later, Gladys kills herself.
Why?
I read a letter of Gladys's from around the time when she was being acclaimed. In this letter, Barbara, she calls herself worthless.
Why?
But Jane thinks she's uncovered white.
I also happen to be researching another female novelist, one completely forgotten now, if she ever really was known. Helen Granville Barker, very wealthy and married to a famous English playwright. She wrote a number of novels which were never successful, though they were critically well received. Being so rich, I don't think she cared about promoting them. Anyway, she dies in 1950, and she leaves a will, which I've come across online.
Helen's will.
Her husband, the playwright, has already died. So in her will, she leaves some things to her lawyers, a doctor, and to, it says right there in the will, a Gladys Huntington. The same.
Whoa.
And it says right there, Helen leaves Gladys her letters and her papers.
Right, which of course would include any manuscripts.
Right.
Helen's own novels, and I've now read all of them, are written in a style very similar to the anonymous book now being attributed to Gladys Huntington.
Do you think this Gladys stole Helen's novel?
And then killed herself because she was guilty.
No, I don't know that for sure, Tim.
Well, I think that's why.
You know, the novel could have been with part of
But
it.
there are a lot of authors with similar styles, Jane. Are you just guessing?
Right. Tell her, it's incredible what she's putting together.
Marian, stepfather in the book is named Carlos. Helen's uncle was Collis Huntington.
He's one of the richest men in America. He owned a lot of railroads, among other things.
When Helen was 15, Marian, Collis was 50. And at this time, Collis's wife was in their home, up in her bedroom, dying.
Of course, Carlos, that's very close. Sounds similar. But Jane also learned
that when Collis Huntington bid at art auctions in New York, he bid under a code name. So people didn't know it was him and bid him up. His code name, Marian, Carlos.
That's just like in the book.
When the woman in the novel's brother arrives, he calls out to his sister, Nellie. Her name up until then in the book has been Natalia.
Jane has written to various libraries.
And they sent me copies of Helen's own letters. And one of these letters from the Huntington Library in California is from a 16-year-old Helen to a cousin. In this letter, young Helen writes, I want now to be called only Nellie.
Ooh.
Marian, I think this book is about Helen's own life.
That's why she never published it.
Her secret life.
What's the name of the novel?
This is neat.
Adam Solario. Of course, solario means exposed,
Solari.
like a solarium,
It's not like a
open to the
solarium.
world.
It's still in print with Gladys's name on the cover.
So you're going to write about this?
Yes.
Mhm.
Helen's forgotten. Barbara doesn't seem right.
God, throughout all that, as you told that story, Jane, I did not once think about a pandemic.
Neither did I.
Isn't that the point?
Mhm.
Marian.
I'm next.
You thought of something?
It's not as fantastic as that. Yes, Richard. It's a story about our family.
Oh, something we know?
I don't think so.
Richard, she's been researching.
I know.
I hadn't known anything about Paul.
Paul.
Dad's brother, Benjamin's brother.
It's like he was wiped off the earth.
That is true.
I tried all sorts of websites. No record of him marrying, no children. We know he left the family and moved to Texas.
For oil.
He was a wildcatter, Tim.
Really?
We never talk about Paul.
Oh, we don't know anything
Well,
about
maybe
Paul.
she does. Have you been saving this?
In a way. A cousin of ours, a third cousin, I think we're related. She's been researching the Apple family as well.
Mhm.
And our paths crossed online. She talked to maybe her mother, I don't know. And she heard this story, which she passed along to me. Sometime after the war, Grandpa and Paul got into a fight. And no one ever knew what the fight was about. A girl, someone Paul wanted to marry, money. It's all speculation. Anyway, Grandpa and Paul fought, and Grandpa basically disowned him. Said he wanted nothing more to do with him. Paul then went away, and everyone in the family lost contact. Now, jump ahead to Grandpa's funeral. Barbara, you would have been like 6 or 7. Do you remember?
I don't know. Was I even there?
I don't remember.
Dad and Benjamin were, of course, there. Maybe Mom.
Probably.
And they all go back to Grandpa's. Grandma's dead. And the lawyer opens up the will, Grandpa's will.
Right.
Another story about a will, Jane. Barbara, you know this, right?
No.
You don't know this, right? It opens up the will, so-and-so to Dad, to Benjamin, to friends, to whomever, whatever, a list, very methodical.
No, well, that was Grandpa, right?
Well, I don't know.
And then it comes to the very last thing. And the lawyer reads, and to Paul. And everyone in that room stops breathing. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. He reads, and to Paul, I leave $1 silver, and I hope he chokes on it.
Oh.
Jesus. What were they fighting about?
We don't know.
I would love to know.
Well, we'll never know.
I'm going to keep researching Paul. He can't have just vanished.
What, you think he's alive?
Maybe 100 years old. I doubt it, but he must have left some trace of himself somewhere. We don't just vanish.
Are you sure about that?
You think we just vanish?
Richard, it's your turn.
You ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
You want to take some time and think about it?
Barbara, well, you've been in the hospital these few days.
Yeah.
I have been alone here in your house, and I've looked through your books. And I came across a book I loaned you years ago.
She doesn't give things back. She's bad about that.
You really are, Barbara.
I know. Anyway, it stayed in the family.
Anyway, biography of President Franklin Pierce. I bought it in England years ago, and I'd forgotten about it, so I read it again. It was very interesting. His was a totally failed presidency.
Oh, I can't imagine such a
that's
thing.
relevant.
Tim, I can't watch him now. I just can't.
When could you, Marian?
So what's the story?
Okay, there's one
Richard?
incident in the book. I'd forgotten about it. Perhaps it didn't even happen. It's a story about the first time that a Japanese delegation announced a visit to Washington. Okay, that no one from Japan had ever been there. That country had been closed. And in advance of their coming, they sent gifts to the president. Silks, swords, vases, umbrellas, mats, jars, plants, and a dog.
Whoa.
A little yapping dog, whole new different breed. What are we going to do with all this stuff? And no one knows. The dog just ran around and around the White House, yapping and yapping. It was a nasty little dog. So one day, President Pierce, who was my size, after some strenuous meeting or something, everything was falling apart in this administration, he throws himself into an armchair where the yapping dog has been napping. And he crushes it. He crushes their gift. And in just 2 days, the delegation from Japan will arrive. So do we tell them the truth? Do we find another dog? No one had ever seen a dog like that. Do we find some flunky to blame? Isn't that what we normally do? Typical government stuff. That's what they would do in Albany. Anyway, it was finally agreed to have the dog stuffed and twisted into a kind of sleeping pose. So that's what they did. And then they stick the dog in a corner. And the Japanese arrive. They all have a pleasant meeting. And they leave. And later, the American translator returns and tells the president how impressed the Japanese were. Because what impressed them, he said. Getting that yapping dog to shut up. They never could.
That really happened?
Maybe it's a story. It's history.
History usually has happened, Richard.
Not always, not in Albany. But when his presidency ended, he was hated, Marian, and he wasn't reelected.
We can hope and pray, fingers crossed.
Tim should be next. He hasn't had a turn. Do you have something?
I do.
Okay, Tim.
Well, you might be bored because mine's about surprise at the theater. I can talk about restaurants also, but that's about it.
That's not true.
Okay, so all right, this week I was Skyping with Gideon. He's my friend at Bard and a writer friend of his, and we're commiserating about canceling the play this summer.
The musical.
Right. So they were trying to figure how to do something to keep going, do theater somehow to just, I don't know, make the point that we're not done, we're not finished.
Mm-hmm.
So we think of something like this, what we're doing on Skype or Zoom, we stream it, we put it on YouTube. It's, not the same, of course, but it shows that we are not giving up. So what to put on? I suggest maybe Skin of Our Teeth.
I don't know that.
It's sort of about the end of the world.
Oh, that's a good idea.
He doesn't think it is.
Yeah, no, I know, Barbara. So Gideon's friend got talking about the play The Cherry Orchard. You know it.
Oh, tell me again the story. I've never seen that.
I forget too.
All right. So a woman has an abusive husband. He dies, probably of drink. And so she thinks she's suddenly freed and she begins an affair. But right away, tragedy strikes because her young son tragically drowns in the river. So she's grief-stricken. She's guilty as hell. And she runs away to punish herself, where she goes through hell. So a few years go by, and then she finds her way home again. And that's when the play starts. So at that time, her estate and its cherry orchard are about to be sold at auction because certain debts haven't been paid. So a simple solution to this is offered, and she and her brother ignore it. So usually when you see the play, Richard, she and her brother are portrayed as these like fading aristocrats who have their heads in the sand. They're oblivious to the social changes around them. But Gideon's friend totally disagrees with this. It's simpler and far, far more complex and human than that, he said. Her problem is that she needs to heal from the tragedy of her son's death. Mm-hmm. But to heal, she knows in her gut that she's going to have to sell the estate and the orchard because they're irrevocably tied to her dead son. But then selling feels like a profound disloyalty to that same son. So here's her dilemma. She needs the estate sold, but she can't be the one to sell it. Mm. And so that's what happens. It's sold, but not by her. And by the end, she's smiling, she's sleeping again, she's healing.
So it's all about healing.
Right. And this I found so moving. I think maybe even more like right now. He said that this incredible play about the need to heal, the need to go on, was written by a man who at the time knew he was dying. Even on his deathbed, he fought to keep going. And how human is that? Barbara's turn.
You have something?
Yeah. When I was in the hospital.
You're going to talk about that yourself?
Yeah, I can talk about myself.
Not really.
When I was in the hospital, all alone, and watching the people there, and all these people just, they were like just working. Do you all remember about almost 10 years ago when Uncle Benjamin read a poem at the high school?
Oh, anniversary.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Me too.
Do you remember the poem he read?
No.
Well, I remember sitting in here in the living room, right in here, helping him to prepare.
You're amazing.
Okay, I'm not asking for that. I'm bringing it up because in these prep sessions, I'd sometimes record him, and so I could play it back and be more objective and give him advice. So I was pretty sure I hadn't thrown it out.
The recording.
Yeah, and I found it right away. That was one of the first things I did when I got home.
Oh, that's where you're in the basement.
Yeah. So can I play that for you? That's my story, and it's not the greatest recording, but you can hear him.
You know where it is?
Yes, on the tape.
Benjamin.
I haven't heard his voice in so long.
This was the year Evan died.
Yeah, that's right. Are you all right with that, Marian?
Yeah.
Okay. You ready? Just wait. It's coming. I edited the poem for him. I shortened it for him.
An old man.
Here, listen.
An old man.
Is that loud enough?
Bending.
I can hear.
I come among new faces. Years looking backward, resuming in answers to children.
I still remember this.
Come tell us, old man.
I can see him.
But in silence, in dreams projections, bearing the bandages, water and sponge, straight and swift to my wounded I go, where they lie on the ground after the battle brought in, where their priceless blood reddens the grass, the ground.
Benjamin.
Back on his pillow, the soldier bends. His eyes are closed, his face is pale. He dares not look on the bloody stump, and has not yet looked on it. I dress a wound in the side, deep, deep.
Marian, you okay?
I dress the perforated shoulder, the foot with bullet wound, cleanse the one with the gnawing and putrid gangrene. I am faithful, I do not give out. The fractured thigh, the knee, the wound in the abdomen, these and more I dress with impassive hand, yet deep in my breast a fire, a burning flame. Thus in silence, in dreams projections, returning, resuming, I thread my way through the hospitals. The hurt and wounded I pacify with soothing hand. I sit by the restless all the dark night. Some are so young. Some suffer so much. I recall the experience, sweet and sad. Many a soldier's loving arms about this neck have crossed and rested. Many a soldier's kiss dwells on these bearded lips. Yeah. Maybe I should grow a beard, Barbara.
What's it called again?
The wound dresser.
If Benjamin were here, he'd be one of the most vulnerable right now.
Mm-hmm, that's true.
So, in a way, it's a good thing.
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
We pass by his grave in the cemetery on our walks.
We do.
We always make sure we stop for a moment.
And Evans?
At Evans. We always stop there too.
Still my turn. In the hospital, one of my nurses, she's Irish, and she saw me listening to music on my smartphone. And she'd always check. And she'd go, "What are you listening to? It's always the same thing, dear." Right. I like the accent. She'd make sure there was enough battery charge so I could keep listening. And she just, in the midst of everything, she thought of that. And she told me what she listens to. It's music her brother sent her, a jazz piece, she said, and it was called "Alone Together." Does anyone know that?
Tim?
On a break, she'd listen. And could you get my phone? I think it's in my coat. Yeah, hanging.
Barbara, aren't you glad you finally got rid of your flip phone?
I never thought I'd see the day.
Joined the human race?
Oh, is a smartphone what now defines the human race? Oh, God, I hope not. Thank you. So I'll play it. I'll hold it up so you can hear it. And Marian, you know this.
What is it?
And you too, Tim.
What?
We sang it in chorus at the Christmas concert. We have done it 3 times and twice in the last 2 years.
Is it in the hospital?
Yes,
Over and over again?
I did. Yes. And okay, here it is. Here. Okay, is everyone ready?
A little louder, Barbara.
Better?
Of course, we sang this.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your chorus singing?
No, we are not that good.
We wish.
What is this, please?
If you'd come to our Christmas concert.
Bach's Mass in B minor, the Dona Nobis Pacem. Give us peace.
I thought I was going to die. Oh, I need to say that.
So did we. And I needed to say that.
All right, that's enough. That's enough. Yeah, I'm done. Richard, you can take my dish if you want.
Oh, you let me wait on you?
I'm finished too, Jane.
Just leave it. I don't want to touch your tray.
It'll smell up the room.
I'm not in there.
Yeah.
She's joking. She's joking.
I didn't eat much.
Yeah, I know. Oh, it was really good. Yeah, Richard, thank you. Thank you. Jane, Tim, how are your kids?
Uh-oh, no, I want to hear this.
Do you talk to them?
All the time, Barbara.
Tim was just on the phone with Karen.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. You said.
She's a senior, like your students. She's upset. She's missing a lot. She's alone. She's stuck with her mom, stepdad. I think it's really hard when you're an only kid.
Of course, it would be.
She says you can really hear the ambulances, mostly in the night. There's so little other traffic, and it keeps her up. Billy, you tell her, Jane.
Billy and his girlfriend are giving each other haircuts.
Have they sent pictures?
No, we Skyped.
They have a dog.
Oh, the dogs are so happy right now. Billy, remember he started out of school in the recession, how hard that was? He's saying, here we go again. Lucky me. He's still pretty much low man on the totem pole at his office.
I talked to him.
I know you do.
Your son, he's already lost his job.
Oh, it was part-time. He was just out of school.
He was going to go work in a grocery store.
Richard told us. Lee's doing well, though, right?
Yeah, she's another year. We'll see what all this is like then. Who the hell knows?
Barbara, the others know this. I told them.
What?
Billy was upset the other day. He said he's just about had it with all this criticism of young people, about them being cavalier, not caring, going to beaches. That's not what his friends see, he said. His friends question how seriously their parents and grandparents are taking this.
It's staying home.
One of his friends speculated that older people, because they've lived through so much and, possible nuclear war, and because that never actually happened. So they think too much is being made of this. That's what they see. This all just came out when I innocently said, hey, I think it's going to be all right. You don't see, he said, and almost shouting at me. You really don't see how fragile things are. You don't see it through our eyes.
Yeah, I know. I know my students have felt that or feel that way, and how it could all fall apart.
Billy's girlfriend, and she's really nice. I like her. She said to me, it feels like the world is ending just as we are arriving.
Yeah, I think I'm tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we should stop.
Okay, I'll take your plate.
How long have we been talking? My God, I thought you could only do 40 minutes on Zoom before you had to pay. Did someone pay?
Richard was going to use his office account.
So we have Andrew Cuomo to thank for this too?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. Let's not go overboard on Andrew Cuomo.
What are you all going to do with the rest of your night?
I know what I'm going to do.
What, Marian?
It's garbage night. So a friend of mine sent me a YouTube video.
I get so many of those.
Yes,
of
everyone does.
A woman,
Jane.
she's carefully putting on makeup in front of a mirror, lipstick, blush, and she's zipping up herself into a beautiful strappy dress and then slipping into very high red heels, spike heels. She takes one more look in the full-length mirror now, smooths out her dress, goes to the front door, picks up a big bag of garbage, goes outside, and drops the garbage into the garbage can. And then she goes back inside. That's me tonight. I'm going to get dressed up for garbage night. I need a cat.
we don't want to leave, Barbara.
We don't have anywhere to go.
I read somewhere, some writer, he said, you can't despair 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
I'll write that out and put it in my fridge, Tim.
Okay, come on, everyone. Barbara needs to rest.
Okay. Okay.
And Jane has grocery shopping to do.
Yes.
Shut up.
Bye, Barbara.
Richard.
Bye.
Good
bye.
night. Thank
Good
God you're
night.
home. What a nightmare.
Yeah.
For
Good
sure.
night.
Jane, Tim.
Well, Marian, you still watching Love is Blind?
Religiously, Tim. Thank you for suggesting it. Good night, all.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Hey, she seems good. Hmm? Considering.
She's Marian.
Yeah.
Jane, I'm going to call Karen back. I said I would do
Oh,
that.
do it. Do it.
Yeah, she was upset. Barbara, Richard, night.
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 Tim, how are you feeling?
Better.
Yeah. Take care of yourself.
I will. Night.
Good night.
Oh, Jane, I can't wait to do the dishes. She needs to go to bed.
I know. He's going to retire.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Is this the time to make such a decision?
I don't know. I don't know what I know. This was nice. Hmm?
It was. We should do it again. Tomorrow night?
Yeah, let's. That makes me happy to know we'll do it again tomorrow night. Good night.